Have you ever thought about how your brain works? It's the command center of your body, controlling everything you do. From thinking and feeling to moving and breathing, your brain is in charge. And guess what? It's made up of billions of tiny cells called neurons. Pretty cool, right? Think of your brain as a supercomputer, but instead of wires and circuits, it uses these amazing things called neurons to send and receive information. These neurons are like tiny messengers that carry electrical and chemical signals throughout your body. It's like a giant game of telephone, but way faster and more complex. Your brain is always working, even when you're sleeping. It's busy processing information, controlling your body's functions, and making sure everything runs smoothly. The human brain is truly an incredible organ. Let's dive a little deeper into these amazing neurons, shall we? Imagine a long, thin wire with branches at both ends. That's kind of what a neuron looks like. These branches are called dendrites and axons, and they're how neurons connect with each other. Here's how it works. A signal starts at one end of a neuron and travels down the axon, kind of like an electrical current. When the signal reaches the end of the axon, it triggers the release of chemicals called neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters then cross a tiny gap called a synapse and bind to receptors on the dendrites of the next neuron. This process repeats itself over and over, allowing neurons to communicate with each other and transmit information throughout the brain and body. Think of it like passing a basketball from one player to another. Each neuron is a player. The neurotransmitters are the basketball, and the synapse is the space between the players. Pretty neat, huh? Now imagine billions of these neurons all connected together, firing signals back and forth. That's what's happening inside your brain right now. It's a complex and dynamic network, constantly adapting and changing based on your experiences. This ability of the brain to change and rewire itself is called neuroplasticity. It's why we can learn new things, form memories, and recover from injuries. Every time you learn something new, you're creating new connections between neurons. And the more you use those connections, the stronger they become. It's like building a mental muscle. Your brain is constantly processing information from your senses, making decisions, and controlling your actions. It's the ultimate multitasker. People often compare the brain to the internet, and it's easy to see why. Both involve vast networks of interconnected nodes that transmit information. But while the internet uses wires and cables, the brain relies on those amazing neurons we talked about. But here's the thing. The brain is way more complex than any computer network. For one thing, the internet is designed by humans, while the brain has evolved over millions of years. The brain is also capable of things that computers can only dream of, like creativity, emotion, and consciousness. So while the internet is an incredible tool, it's still just a tool. The human brain, on the other hand, is a marvel of nature. It's the most complex object in the known universe, and we're only just beginning to understand its secrets.